4 hidden reasons why you're constantly forgetting and losing things. How often do you find yourself berating yourself for having such a truly terrible memory? For what feels like the 100th time, you misplace your keys around the house, forget someone's name just a second after meeting them, can't quite recall the title of a film, or completely wipe from your mind every promise you made to your loved ones. At this moment, people often let out a sigh. Oh, I'm just absent-minded. It's my age, or I'm overtired. But let's take off those rose-tinted glasses for a moment. Sigmund Freud proved that our memory is far more complex and, at times, even rather cynical. The psyche never forgets anything without good reason. Your forgetfulness isn't a simple malfunction of the brain or some minor vitamin deficiency. It's a carefully planned, precision-crafted act of your unconscious mind. The subconscious quite deliberately blocks certain memories, conceals particular things, and wipes away specific information in order to protect you from buried pain, fear, or other unpleasant responsibilities. Today we will examine 4 hidden reasons why your subconscious regularly switches off your memory and what it is genuinely trying to conceal from you. The first reason is the mechanism of repressing pain, forgetting your intentions and the promises that you have made. Think back to a particular situation. You genuinely intended to wish an old acquaintance a happy birthday, repay a debt, or do a small favor. You remembered it clearly in the morning, but at the crucial moment, the thought simply disappeared. And in the evening you clutch at your head, how could I possibly have forgotten? You apologize and reassure them that it merely slipped your mind entirely by accident. Freud maintained that this is a classic mechanism of repression. Your unconscious mind blocked it rather deliberately, because it is associated with a certain hidden inner discomfort. Perhaps you rather secretly find this acquaintance quite unpleasant. Perhaps when you are repaying a debt, you subconsciously suffer from the loss of your money, and a colleague's request causes you a somewhat dull irritation. Because you did not truly wish to do it, but you could not bring yourself to give a clear no. Your psyche. It instantly picks up on this inner conflict and settles the matter rather radically. It quite simply removes the task from your desktop, your consciousness. You end up forgetting what, deep down, you would really rather not want to do. Reason 2. Hidden protest against a person. Forgetting names and faces. It sometimes happens that you run into someone in the street whom you spoke with a couple of years ago, but his name is absolutely stuck in your mind. You smile, make a bit of small talk, and inside you're starting to panic. What on earth is his name exactly again? Or worse still, you end up forgetting the name of a client, a business partner, or a new colleague right in the middle of a particularly important meeting. You chalk it up to having a rather poor memory when it comes to names, but Freud demonstrated that forgetting names is a fairly clear signal of hidden hostility or envy. Your unconscious mind. When it comes to this particular person, your psyche deliberately erases the name of someone you associate with your own bruised self-esteem, lingering old grievances, or past failures. For instance, you might forget the name of someone who is more successful than you in some particular way, because their presence strongly reminds you of your insecurities. The subconscious mind simply refuses to acknowledge the significance of this person, and to remove their name completely from your memory. This is your inner, more latent way of expressing contempt, or of shielding your ego from any kind of comparison. The third reason is the unconscious sabotage of a particular place, misplacing and forgetting things. You regularly lose your keys, wallet, passport, or phone, search for them all over the flat, end up running late, get angry, and blame yourself for being rather careless. Pay close attention to exactly where and when you forget, misplace, or lose your things. You have left your umbrella behind at the office, forgotten your gloves in a certain person's car, or misplaced the keys to the very flat you genuinely do not want to return to. For Freud, losing things is invariably a form of symbolic self-sabotage. If you constantly lose or forget your office keys, your unconscious is practically shouting that you really can't stand this job and you genuinely don't want to go there. If you've forgotten a personal item at the house of a stranger or at the place of someone you know, it's a hidden desire to go back there again, which you're rather afraid to admit to yourself. And if you've mislaid an expensive gift from your partner, you are subconsciously devaluing this relationship and this person. Things get lost not merely because of carelessness, but because your subconscious uses them as a subtle means to express your true, firmly locked away feelings. Reason 4. Protection against cognitive dissonance, the deliberate erasing of unpleasant facts. Why is it that, in arguments with close people or colleagues, you so often find yourself in a situation where they claim that you said or did something rather unpleasant a year ago, and yet you simply do not remember it at all? You are genuinely prepared to swear on the Bible that it never happened, and you begin to think that someone is manipulating you or gaslighting you. But the truth is that your memory truly has erased this episode. Freud discovered that your psyche contains an extremely strict and rather unforgiving internal censor. If you have committed a truly shameful act, shown cowardice or aggression, or have unfairly hurt someone, it can utterly destroy your inner picture of yourself as a good and decent bloke. Cognitive dissonance arises in order to protect your self-esteem from outright self-destruction. The unconscious mind simply rewrites the story. It takes this shameful fact and seals it away for good in the basement of memory. You genuinely forget your screw-ups so that you can carry on believing in your own perfection. In conclusion, I would like to say this: your memory is not a computer hard drive that stores absolutely everything. It's a living, breathing filter. If you're constantly forgetting things or misplacing them, stop taking those brain pills. Pause for a moment and ask yourself what, right now, my subconscious is actively trying to wipe away from my life. What truth about myself, about my work, or about my relationships am I so desperately afraid to admit? Only by stopping lying to yourself will you regain control over your memory and your destiny. Thanks for watching to the end. That's it from me. Speak soon.